Zadande, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Nerd Chat here on Electro Ninja's Lab. I am here with my fellow hosts,
Captain Jack.
Joker.
and today we are going to be discussing, at long last, the books that we gave each other this previous Christmas for, well, the Nerd Chat book exchange. um, so just a quick little reminder as to the books that we were sent. So I was sent from Joker. I got Ember in the Ashes, and Jack sent me The Institute by Stephen King.
I did do that.
Yep. And then Jack, you got you got Ember in the Ashes from Joker as well, right?
I did.
And then I got you Spy Family, right?
Yeah.
The one that you're like obsessed with now.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna talk about all of them, and then Joker. I believe I sent you Juana and the Dragon Newt Seven Kingdoms,
Yep.
and Jack sent you what?
I sent him a book called Many Waters by Madeline L'Engle.
Of which he didn't read.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got too busy with schoolwork.
It's okay.
It happens. Since that's the one book that hasn't been read, why don't you briefly like go over like what it is, Jack?
So basically what happened is in the original Madeline L'Engle series, there's a bunch of characters. She wrote A Wrinkle in Time, which most of us read in the 8th grade. And in that, there are two characters called Sandy and Dennis. And Sandy and Dennis are the stars of this book. In that they kind of... It's really kind of a book about fuck around and find out, which is kind of funny. As they mess with their parents' science-y shit. They type in on a computer, "Take me somewhere warm," because it's currently freezing snow in Massachusetts where they live. And so they type into this computer, "Take me somewhere warm," and what they didn't realize is that the computer was actually a time machine, and it took them to the Noah's Ark period. And so they run into Noah and all of his people who are there with them, and then there are Nephilim and Seraphim, who also walk the earth, and they basically have to figure out how to get
back to
back home. Yeah, but they have to do it by riding a unicorn. That's the only way to time travel.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh.
And you can only ride a unicorn if you're a virgin. And so we now know that Sandy and Dennis are virgins.
Okay.
Which is hilarious to me because I was like, why?
Why'd you have to make that so specific?
Yeah, really. I was like, okay. But it was because like Noah was a father of nations and couldn't ride the unicorns. You know what I mean? Like that's what they were getting at.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Because if they had just done pure of heart, then Noah could have ridden a unicorn and gone to the future. But if they had done something where like you haven't had sex,
yeah, fair enough. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. You know what that just reminds me of?
what?
The Magical Treehouse, but Christian.
Yeah, basically.
So does it like do they go through a lot of other Bible stories as well, or just Noah?
Nope, it's just Noah.
Okay, cool. So, Joker, you missed out. And I'm you're gonna need to send me the title of that. I'm gonna check it out later.
Okay, it's called Many Waters. That's it.
Many Waters. Okay.
Yep.
I'll make a note of that. But so yeah. Yeah, and then you and me both read you read a little bit of Ember in the Ashes. I have read the entire thing.
Yeah.
So, how far have you gotten so far?
I'm in chapter 4.
4? Okay. So, obviously I completed it. So what
But
do
I'm
you?
not worried about spoilers at all. So
You're not worried about spoilers? Okay.
no,
So I forget exactly what's going on. Has he started the trials yet or no?
no.
He has not started the Elias has not started the trials. Okay. So I really enjoyed it. It's a fun book. You made a
Um,
you made a good
it's
point.
a
What?
the book itself. The author is from like I believe the Middle East, so it's based in the Middle East, according to um when I was reading it.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense considering like the story and stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I really like the characters. I do have to say that I think I prefer Leah at this point. But Elias, I really liked him as he started the. I really liked him at the beginning because he's like trying to be against the Empire and all this stuff. But then like, and also like he helps out Leah a lot, which that
Yeah,
he's a great guy. I really like him, especially since he's really doing stuff that would, considering his position, like holy crap, that would get him in a lot of trouble. Um, yeah, I'm surprised he's not dead by the end of this. Um, but I still
Just wait until you start the second book.
okay. So yeah, I'll definitely be reading the second book. Um, I'm assuming that they're probably going to be dealing with going after her brother before too long. Do you know if that's going on in the second book?
As I know, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not necessarily expecting you to know if they've actually like saved him by the end or whatever because you've just started it, but still. Um, but yeah, it's very interesting, and the world building is very different than what I was expecting. It kind of feels like there is obviously magic in the world, but it's a lot less um, than you might expect, and most of it is Middle Eastern uh, mythology and stuff, which you don't really get to see too much of that. Besides like Aladdin and whatchamajiggle, the Arabian Nights. That's pretty much all that we see, and pretty much everything is based off of Arabian Nights. When it comes to any mythology, well, this seems like it's going to be taking a lot more from a lot of different sources that we just don't see over here in America that much. So, yeah, I'm needless to say, I'm very intrigued. Um, so what? You said earlier that Leah was your favorite character right now, right?
yes, I did.
Okay. So what made? I'm just curious about what specifically makes you like her more right now.
She's just interesting. She to me, Elias. I mean, I like them both
Yeah.
for different reasons, but to me, she really seems to have a reason she's doing things.
Yeah.
Like her brother got stolen, whereas this guy is. I mean, he's kind of just there.
Yeah. I do have to say that he was. It does feel a little bit weird to say the least. I mean, it makes sense later on because of the fact that like you see how much his mother is terribly abusive.
Yeah,
And she's an awful human being. And rather than choosing to strike out against random people, he's a fantastic person, and he's trying to fight against the Empire despite all of that. Despite being one of their top people. And honestly,
Yeah, because he despises his mother,
yeah,
his
which I think is
biological
really
mother.
one of the big things that really makes people kind of hate a lot of characters that serve the bad guys in but are actually good guys. um I really like that he is kind of one of those people because he is trying to understand exactly how they function, and it sounds like eventually he is going to be the one who is going to destroy the entire destroy everything, and he's going to save the day. Um, I don't know exactly, but needless to say, I'm really excited to see how the story continues. But yeah. uh, anyways, so what? So I'm curious about what you guys think of the different manga that I sent you.
I really enjoyed Spy Family. As you said before, I'm a little bit obsessed with it now. I have the second volume. I'm working on getting more volumes.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I think I've sent you Witch Hat Atelier and Ascendance of a Bookworm before this, and you didn't read them until you got Spy Family, and now you're just like all over the manga.
Yeah, it's true. I got Spy Family. That was my first one that I ever read, and I really enjoyed it. And then I just realized I enjoy the format of manga, and so I've been reading it. So I read Spy Family, and then I read Witch Hat, and then I found Ascendance of a Bookworm, the manga, not the light novel, and I read that.
Yeah.
And now I have 39 manga.
Oh my gosh, I still think that's insane that you went from from having 3 manga to 39.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but yeah, I'm really excited to see how much you're going to enjoy a lot of the manga that you have been getting into, because while while this video we're supposed to be talking about Spy Family and how you've enjoyed it, I think it's rather interesting that you went from not really wanting to read manga to this is my life now.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
Story of my life.
I also think it's really awesome that I got both of you into manga.
You did. You're contagious. Your disease is
Very much
contagious.
so.
Yeah. I also think it's funny because I think that like Josh, Joe, and Tristan, they kind of like they started suggesting that I get into like manga and anime.
Yeah.
And as well as Moon did as well. Each of them had like their part to play, but it wasn't until like 2018 that I really started to get into manga. Like I got a few volumes, especially like I wanted to get a lot of My Hero Academia around that time, so I started with that. I got Assassination Classroom and a lot of other things, but unlike me strongly suggesting it to you guys, no one really like pushed me to start reading manga. Like they suggested it, but it was really not. They were more into the anime rather than the manga.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. Like I don't even think I had a friend named Eli in college, and I don't think he read manga either at the time. So needless to say, it's just I just started reading, and then yeah. Also, another interesting thing about manga is I went to my manga club recently, and the manager of the Barnes and Noble was like, "Yeah, 2020 was our year for having manga," and I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense," because they literally went from having 2 shelves of manga to having a huge so many manga that they actually can't fit them in their bookshelves right now.
Wow.
Yeah, they constantly have like huge piles of manga that they're just like, please buy these, because and people do buy them. It's
That's how the Barnes and Noble in Utah is that they have a table, stacks of manga on this table. because they can't fit them on the shelf.
Yeah. I don't think that Reno's isn't. I don't think, right?
I don't know. I haven't been to Reno's in a while.
Okay. But yeah, they. I don't know. Well, you'll tell us eventually. But that's kind of. I think it's just interesting that they've just like manga has exploded in the past few years because obviously like anime has been popular for a long time, but manga really wasn't that popular until very recently.
True.
Anyways, so Joker, you got Juana and the Dragon Newts. So what do you think of that?
I did not like it.
What? Why not?
Well, one, it was like confusing on what the heck was going on, and then it's like, okay, so you have this egg that's a human now, and like it was very confusing,
Okay.
and I didn't understand it, and so I just didn't enjoy it
Okay.
because like the story wasn't told very well. It's like, oh, now they're going on this adventure. I'm like, what the heck just happened?
Okay, I think you might have skipped a few details there. The egg thing, yeah, that I will admit that the egg thing is confusing. It's not an egg. I will go ahead and just reveal that right now. It is it's a capsule, basically. Humans have been underground for years and years, basically laying dormant in these capsules that happen to be shaped like eggs, and Juana just happened to be inside of it. And it's actually like very interesting because like Dragon Newts seem they do they know a little bit about humans and stuff, but a lot of what they learn is from just their random bits and pieces that have been left around. It kind of is similar to that of I don't know if you guys have seen this show or even like little bits and pieces of it. Love, Death, and Robots. Do you
Nope.
you guys haven't seen that at all, or even clips?
No.
Okay, so it's a show on Netflix. I don't recommend it, but it's kind of interesting because it's got a similar premise. Humans are gone, and the
Stop biting me.
the creatures that are left behind are basically trying to piece together their story from very limited resources. And the same thing goes with the Dragon Newts. They have no idea what's going on, so so the main character decides to try and take Juana to where there's been rumors of other humans being. Unfortunately, they really didn't get a chance to tell the story very much. Just for reference, the story is only about it's only 3 volumes long, and a lot of the story actually got lost because they had to rush it to get the series done just because it wasn't that popular.
That's what was trying to say, is that it feels rushed, and it does not. The story just does not work because there's not time on it.
Yeah, and I think that that's kind of an important thing to mention with that series specifically. It was rushed. I will admit that that was rushed. But one of the big things with those types of things is that sometimes it's just not popular enough, and it gets sidetracked and gets kicked out. Gets finished way too quickly because apparently it's not popular enough. You get I think that the creator got like so they created the first chapter or something, and it was rated terribly, but more than likely the company had already okayed 3 volumes worth of manga, and so they had to rush the story, because honestly I think that the first chapter is probably the best one. So she rushed to get a lot of the stuff done, and as such they jump over a lot of content that would have been really interesting, as well as they jump over a lot of explanation. You can actually see this later on, because a character at the beginning of the book of the series reveals that he actually knew that exactly where the humans were at the end, and it's just out of nowhere that this comes. So it really does feel very rushed. I think that the biggest problem with it is just that the author didn't have the time, and this was their first volume. I think their first series, so they didn't really know what they were doing. I think that eventually they could absolutely come back to the series, but I think unlike other series which just need a little bit reworking at the ending, Juana and the Dragon Newts would probably need reworking from the beginning in order to be remade into a way that people would really enjoy. So, yeah. While I enjoyed it, I understand that it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Anyways. So, let's see. So we talked Ember in the Ashes, Juana and the Dragon... Oh, so the last thing that I need... the last book is The Institute.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you guys know that I have problems with Stephen King. I'm not gonna go into all of my details on why I'm not the biggest fan of him. But I do have to say that I think that The Institute was rather interesting. But like, it's part of the reason again why I don't really like Stephen King. It's not there's no happy ending. Like, sure, the kids get to go, some of the kids get to survive, but it's so few of them, and it's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like it did get better. More than likely, a lot of their breakout was probably happening on multiple different places. So it looks it looks like they probably saved a lot more kids than they think. But the main characters, like, you only see like 4 of these kids survive, and it's just like, fuck, that's just
the biggest sad part for me was how he ended Avery.
Yes, Avery's death. It's just like, fuck. That hurts. That really.
Avery's death sucked, but
Yeah.
it sucked not because Avery died, but because of his last thought was recorded.
Yeah. It's just...
Get off the lizard cage.
That. Sorry, I know.
Hold on.
I know that wasn't meant to be funny, but yeah. There, I don't know. I have a lot of big problems with. I have problems with Stephen King in general, but like, the story is interesting, and getting to see the characters, as they fight to get out of there, it's definitely interesting, as well as the main character as he is trying to figure out exactly what's going on, what people know, are his parents dead, and all that stuff. That is very interesting. It's very well written, but at the same time, I'm just like, oh, there's a lot of things that it's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One of the things I really appreciated about this iteration of Stephen King is that it wasn't so much horror as it was thriller.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much terrifying. I mean, there was no terror. There was no fear that, something was going to get you. There was no jump scares. There was a sense of this really intense suspense, and I loved that.
Yeah. Like you're wondering throughout the entire thing, are these kids gonna make it? The answer is no. The answer is just blatantly no. There's the only kids that survive are like four of the kids, and was it the first four that we meet, or what?
I think so, because it's Luke and then the girl.
Yeah.
No, it's not the first four that we meet because George doesn't survive.
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't, but it's some of the first four. It's near there. It's not very many. I also thought it was
It's
really
four of the first ones we meet, not the first four that we meet.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the those four kids is all that survives, and it's just like that's just really really sad. I'm glad that Luke survives, because he's like the main character, but at the same time, it's like, but you killed off like one of the best characters,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
That's my only complaint is I would have had Avery survive.
Yeah, fair enough.
I feel like that was an unnecessary death.
Yeah, exactly. But
Right.
the good news is that they were able to get a lot of people out. They did start a revolution, and they ended that terrible the terrible thing.
They did. It's true.
I think it's really interesting as well because he really it's kind of fucked up, but at the same time it's like it's really interesting that the lisping man, he doesn't even know if it was by the end of it, he realizes that this whole thing, they didn't need to do it. It was all pretty much it could have very likely been pointless that they even were doing it in the first place. Society could have taken care of things themselves, and I think that that's actually like a really good point for the real world, because a lot of people seem to think that there's, well, not a lot of people, but there are the conspiracy theorists who are just like, there's this evil organization hidden behind the walls and stuff like that are making sure that things go right. And Stephen King basically says that no, there isn't. It's just people being people. People work to make things happen. People work to save the day. And yeah, I think that is a really interesting way that they could that they handled it, because while he is the story is basically saying that, yeah, but at the end it's showing that there doesn't need to be this secret organization. It could just be people helping people.
Yep.
So I like that. I like that little bit at the end where he is just like, yeah, there doesn't have to be some secret organization. It could just be people, random civilians who are going out of their way to help people in need.
Yeah. I think Stephen King makes it really clear that both heroes and villains are always people.
Yeah, exactly. I do have to say, I do really hate like a lot of the stuff that happened. Like, I really hate the villains. I want to kill them.
Oh yeah.
Like,
he does such a good job of writing people who you're supposed to hate.
yeah, like the guy who's like I mentioned before that there was like that one doctor who's just like when I was talking to you about the book for the first time, as I was reading it, I was just like, this one guy who's like saying that the kids should have sex, it's just like, I hate you. I want you.
Oh yeah. These people, he writes these psychopaths.
Yeah.
So well. It's kind of disturbing.
Yeah. Like I hate that guy. And then also the fact that they're
supposed to.
Yeah, and also the fact that like these people are basically giving kids all these drugs and shit, and it's just like, in order to keep them in their place, that's just fucked up.
Oh yeah.
It's so fucked up, and it really makes you hate the villains, and that's a really good thing. Make your villains hateable.
Exactly.
Because otherwise it's just like, what are you doing?
Right.
And
Well,
Yeah.
We lost Joker.
We lost Joker. Oh no.
Yeah, he had to go for some reason. Someone called him or something.
Oh well, it
Yeah.
happens. Well, I am curious. So, yeah, we talked a little bit about how you've really gotten into anime and manga. Well, specifically manga. Since we introduced you to Spy Family.
Yeah.
So at this point in time, what would you say is your favorite manga?
I'd say like right now it's Parasite.
I mean, fair enough.
It's just good. It's beautiful. Although I will say that I picked up a Hayao Miyazaki
Yeah,
manga.
yeah. You picked up Shuna's Journey, right?
Journey.
We should.
Yeah.
I need to read that, and then we should talk about it at some point.
And it is just gorgeous. It's
Oh,
a one volume
fucking
story
lovely.
that's all told in one
Yeah.
one go, and it's watercolors, all done by Miyazaki, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. One thing that I found really interesting about it is that it kind of feels like it's just from what I've seen, it feels like it's kind of bridging the gap between freaking Princess Mononoke and the whatchamadoodle
It does feel that way.
Nausicaa. It feels like it's bridging the gap between Nausicaa and Princess Mononoke, which are like two of his best films. So,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not even surprised. Like I said, I need to read it. I need to actually just sit down and read it at some point. But absolutely, the art is just truly amazing, and it takes it takes a lot of concepts from a lot of different the different movies that he's worked on.
It does. It's true.
So yeah, I think that's truly incredible, and I really want to read. I want to read the entire story because it's just like, this is so cool. This feels like a Studio Ghibli movie. I don't have any other way to describe it.
There's no other way to put it. It feels like a Ghibli.
It really does. It really feels like a Ghibli. And
I haven't read Rurouni Kenshin yet. Sorry, I'm just mumbling to myself.
you're good.
I look at mangas.
But yeah, we should both of us should absolutely read it, and we should also get Joker to read it so that we can actually.
Off the bookshelf. That's why it's like this, isn't it?
We should get Joker to read Shuna's Journey, and then we should all talk about it and just be like, what we each like about it and stuff like that. Because yeah, this absolutely deserves some real attention. Because yeah, like I said,
I would agree. Let's
truly
see.
fantastic.
I actually just picked up a new one called Blue Period.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. I'm not sure if I want to read it though.
It seems really interesting. The art looks incredible. It's digital, but it looks incredible still.
Okay. So maybe I'll check it out. Yeah, you'll have to tell me what you think of the story, and I'll and if you enjoy it, then I might. But yeah. Oh, one sec. I'm gonna grab something. So I told you. So last night, or yesterday, I guess, I told you guys I got two manga. The first is Hunter's Guild Red Hood Volume 3, as well as Final Fantasy Lost Stranger Volume 8. But I got two other ones, and I think that you might want to check these out at some point. But I think that they are just the first. There's just the two volumes. There's no the first. There's just the first volumes for each of these. There might be more eventually, but I don't know. So the first one is called "The Night Blooms Behind Castle Walls."
Okay.
So I'll just read the back really quick. Rosa dreams of taking up arms as a courageous knight. To be one, she must first be a squire. Those duties around the castle are much less glorious. One moment she's caring for the horses in the stable, next she's battling the task of chopping firewood or conquering a mountain of laundry. She must
Oh
be
boy.
she must be ever ready to assist the knight she serves. Her role may seem small and the tasks mundane, but each is an important step to becoming a knight. Rosa will face every challenge with the heart of a hero.
Oh my gosh.
It sounds really interesting, and I really want to read it. It kind of feels like a lot of other fantasy series that we just. But obviously, it's gonna be it's a bit more mundane, but it's also like it. Just from what I've read of it, it sounds like it's gonna be a Karate Kid to a certain degree. Like,
Yeah.
from her doing all of these mundane tasks, she's eventually going to realize that she has grown stronger and can actually fight in like actual battles and stuff just from learning these little tasks. I don't know for sure if that's actually going to be a thing, but yeah. And then the other manga I got is Correspondence from the End of the Universe.
That just sounds like a Hitchhiker's Guide knockoff.
To a certain degree.
Pickle,
So
if you pee on that, I swear to God, I'm going to throw you away.
what happened?
Nothing.
Oh.
Pickle's just being a bastard.
Oh, of course he is. The Office at the End of the Universe. Russian recent college graduate Marco is looking forward to traveling the world with his lover. However, he is abducted by a mysterious being to the end of the universe, ruining his plans. This mysterious being assigns Marco a 10-year mission. All Marco can do is give his all to the mission and befriend his alien coworkers. This is the peculiar story depicting a life in a place far removed from Earth. So, yeah. So it's basically office work, but he's on the other side of the universe. And it looks like there's a lot of different things in this, but it looks like it's basically studying different things about the universe, and it looks very interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy it yet, but I just started it, so I don't think that you should probably get it quite yet, because like I said, these are just the first volumes, and I don't know if or when they're gonna have a second, third, or however many volumes, but they look interesting, to say the least.
Nice.
So, yeah. But, yeah. Anyways, also,
Place to call it.
yeah, I was just about to say, real quick, before we actually end this, so YouTube recently came out with a new feature, for podcasts specifically. So you'll be so basically we'll be able to release the I'm going to be doing some testing with it to figure out what's exactly going to be going on with it. But all of you guys should absolutely look forward to Nerd Chat
podcast actually being a podcast.
Nerd Chat actually being a podcast. I'm not certain exactly all the details with it. I'm hoping that it might release while it's specifically focusing on YouTube's version of podcasts. I'm kind of hoping that it will also allow you to post the podcasts to other locations like Spotify and, like I said, lots of different sources. But I kind of doubt it just because YouTube is kind of, yeah, we're going to keep this stuff here. We'll see exactly what happens. But I'm going to, in the next few days, definitely expect I'm gonna try and get Nerd Chat 1 up on the podcast section, and then if that works out, I'm gonna work to get all of the Nerd Chats on there. And if it if we just can't do that, instead we will be doing Nerd Chat 41 and onward will be in the new podcast system rather than being in the videos. So look forward to that, and we will talk to you guys in the next video, or I guess podcast. Anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and we will see you guys next time. But on.
Yeah.